Welcome back everyone. You're watching the training week from January 6th, where the weekly focus was only one. We're on the road to the dream Pagan Coleman connection, so standing up on the bar and literally jumping off it to do a front half straight away into a Coleman was the focus. And pleasant surprise, I got a few reps of it under my belt and even managed to touch the bar with one hand on a couple of occasions. I think Thursday was the best day. I did like 5 in a row, which I was completely stoked about. So we'll talk about that little drill in a bit. But other highlights, as you saw, the giant Diamondov came back on P-bar, which was huge. I did it scrappy, but did it nonetheless. And at the end of the week on the Saturday, double outs of high bar from the Chinese tap gave that a go. But here, let's see me. I did this actually once the week prior, so I kind of knew what I was doing. But the thing with this little drill is, lost the leg form there. Obviously doing your standing front half doesn't take as much energy, nowhere near as much energy as doing your Pagan, but in terms of placing the front half, it almost feels just like another release. It's like a guessing game. You're not guaranteed to catch at full stretch, or at least at a distance where you can connect the Coleman comfortably. So, but if I'm trying about 5 or more a day, that's still a lot more value, towards that, getting that connection, because it does kind of feel like it. And I did find that it helped me, just even keep the legs together on the Pagan. That feels similar as well. So shoulder feeling better on the giant Diami and the dismount. That Chinese tap is like the last thing that I've come back to on high bar, because like you might think, okay, well, you have to pull the bar quite hard for a Coleman, and you do. But when you're in the Chinese tap, you're fully closed, and when your shoulders are closed, snapping into an arch, there's just that much more yank and pull on your shoulder. So it's a lot more quicker of an action, really rugged action, even compared to a Kovacs tap. So that's why it took so long, over a year, to get back to the double outs. So we've started hopping over the bar with both hands now, always warming up the Pike Gaylord before sending the Pagans. And look at that, 2 hands on, feet pretty much glued together. So that warm-up turn is going great. Warm-up turn is going great, but things change when I go for the catch. But now there's 2 things that are in my head, right? So I'm going for the catch, which already makes me kick out too early for the Pagan. This was one of the better ones, a little bit of leg separation there. I'm always chasing perfection these days, but the amount of flip there was ideal. I flipped that Pagan a little bit extra than usual. But now I'm also thinking about doing a really hard arch kick in prep for a Coleman. So the thing that I'm discovering is, the more you put into your head, the more the skill changes, at least for me. And reminds me, on the Friday, I went for some triple doubles off the air track. I went for one, and my entire flick flack and everything I did completely changed, and I had to abort mission. Crunched the ankle actually on that day. You'll see that in a wee bit. So it looks like I managed 1 rep of that Pagan Coleman on Tuesday. It's really fun. I was like at home after the work day, and I was kind of like thinking about it a lot, because it's new. I've never done it before, but it's thrilling, and it's obviously nowhere near as scary as doing the Pagan. So it's a lot more enjoyable. You get to fly with at least somewhat of a sense of safety. So it's a lot of fun. Now this day, man, there's this spot on P-bar, and it was 1 to 2 hand width spot, where no matter how much I sanded it or prepped it, it was just no good. This like cursed spot. Everywhere else on the bar was okay, but this spot exactly where I do the Peach 1 bar, like, it just wasn't working. So what I did was I just moved forward away from that spot and did an extra little rep over here. The cursed grip spot. So I don't know if we're sitting still at Tuesday or if we're on Thursday, but I think we're still on Tuesday. Thursday was the first day of the Giant Diami. Okay, so I decided it was time to try some Azerians without any bungee. So I did a couple of tries, and it feels way different. So I think if I'm ever gonna get an Azerian, I'm gonna have to start doing at least a little bit without the bungee. So there was attempt number one. Attempt number two had a little bit more rotation. So something new that I'm gonna do a little bit of. But start slowly. Still can't swing even to horizontal, but you know, at least if it's worth something, that Azerian's going to help my general strength. Ideally, it's not going to tear me to shreds. Some days it does feel like that, especially trying it without the bungee. So yeah, here comes the Giant Diami. First one in well over a year now. It's been like 1 year, 1.5 months. But yeah, super excited about the standing front half Coleman. The question is, do I go for the catch before I start thinking about doing the real pagan into Coleman? You know, I'm gonna give it another week or so, because you know, the Coleman is a bit different when you're connecting it. You don't get much height, and you need to flip a lot more and tuck a lot more. You know, with a regular Coleman from a Kovacs tap, I have the luxury of just opening out, flipping really cruisy, not having to think about speed or anything. But from the standing front half, I have to flip way more than usual if I'm going to get that second hand onto the bar as well. So I'm going to pursue it a little bit longer, see if I can change my Coleman technique, probably work less Colemans. I haven't actually done any Colemans at all from normal tap. That's how serious I am about trying to get this connection going. Yeah, so I'll give it another couple of weeks or so. Maybe even trying to get a second hand on. So this was the good day. I'm pretty sure I did 5 in a row, so I caught that one a bit close. Lost form again. Losing form means I thought I was a bit close to the bar, so I freaked out. Okay, and I think I may have touched or even grabbed the next one. If we pause the video, we'll see, you know, even though the right hand is on, that left hand has a long way to go. And a part of it is from habit, I'm just kicking out like I do a regular Coleman, but I'm gonna have to stay tucked. I'm gonna have to stay really tucked to keep on flipping it around if I want to get that second hand on. So bent knees, and then I'm straightening my knees, but you know, not yet. And I'm hoping if I get lucky, when I get lucky and catch a pagan at full stretch, you know, if I'm going for the Coleman right after, I'm hoping that I'll get more juice, more amplitude out of a real pagan than out of the standing front half, which would make more sense to me. There's a lot more amplitude in a real release than a standing release. So. But yeah, you don't know until you try. So until I try, we're not gonna know what the situation is and what to expect. So there we go, 2 hands once again. And then I went for the catch. Did a little pull. Not much of an arch kick, but definitely pulling for that Coleman. A bit too far, kicking out too early. Kicking out too early again, but managed to get it. It almost looks just like a regular Kovacs tap. But of course I'm after a strong arch kick and pull. So today I was gonna go, okay, I'll maybe try triple double into the pit. 2.5, I'm really comfy. I feel the full, and then 1.5, nice and comfy. Then I did a sort of a timer into the pit, twist. And then I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna try it. Flick flack was so short, didn't get much of a takeoff, and kind of aborted mission, and man, that crunched my ankle hard. So I stopped there, did a little bit of front rotation, and started Saturday off with some strength. I was wondering if I'm going to feel stronger doing strength at the start rather than at the end, but also I was so smashed from all the high bar I was doing that I didn't want to do any like releases or anything. That's my swing height so far. Chinese tap and a couple of double R's to follow. This felt fun. This was so fun. It's been so long. First one a little bit scrappy with the knees, but the second one, man, it was fun. Yeah, a little scrappy there. Boom, boom, boom. Look at those knees, locked. This week I'll see if I can get rid of that slightly excessive dish. Maybe just a little tummy in, but not gonna do an excessive dish in the first flip. It'll make it look even cooler. Yeah, but pretty stoked to come back to that, to be honest. So you know, every now and then I'll do the triple backs, every now and then I'll do the double outs, and that's where we're at. So full focus on this, you know, peg in Coleman. I got a few months before I have to start formal prep for season. Thanks for watching. All the best. Till next time.